Hello there, everybody. Welcome to your reading. I am Lucy with Lucy the Antigua Tarot. And I'm very happy to be here. I hope you're all doing very, very well on this beautiful day. And I look forward to doing your reading for the month of March of 2016. My goodness. I keep forgetting that we're just already at 2016. It's amazing. But I'm very happy to be here, and I hope that I hope that you enjoy the reading. So let's get started, my dear Aquarius friends. So, Aquarius, this is your reading. Okay, it's right there. Um, Now, I have to tell you that these cards I bought when I was traveling in Guatemala. I was in Antigua, Guatemala, as a matter of fact, visiting family, and I ran into these Rider-Waite cards in Spanish, and I thought, well, how cool is that to have the cards in Spanish, the titles? So I thought it'd be fun. I really love using them, and I hope you enjoy your reading with these cards. Of course, the reading will be in English, so don't worry. So let's look at your reading. Um, You're starting off with the, let's see here. Well, you have, wow, La Suma Sacerdotisa, the High Priestess, at the center of your reading. That's, um, that's interesting. And then you have, at the beginning of the reading, you have the Seven of Pentacles. And following the Seven of Pentacles, you have El Juicio, Judgment. And then you have the Nine of Swords. Okay, following the Nine of Swords, you have the Three of Cups. After the Three of Cups, we have La Suma Sacerdotisa, the High Priestess. And then you have El Caballo de Copas, the Knight of Cups. And then in the last row, you have the, let's see, I think those are Eight Swords. Yes, the Eight of Swords, the Three of Swords. Okay. And then you have the Ten of Cups. All right. So because we are let's see here. Because we are I'm doing a 9 spread card, I'm going to start with the card in the center, which is the card that signifies you, Aquarius. Um, what it is, who it'll, let's just look at that card. We'll look at the symbolism of it, and that position of the card basically is addressing who you are, where it is you are at this point in time. Okay, so la sacerdotisa, the high priestess, la suma sacerdotisa. It's a lovely card. um, so let's look at some of the uh, symbolic meanings of this card. So the high priestess sits on a cubic stone, okay, and this is the alchemical raw material on the edge of the sea of the subconscious, okay, basically. Her scroll symbolizes ancient knowledge, okay, and that's the scroll she has in her hand. The two pillars are the pillars of Solomon's temple. We have Boaz and Jachin, or Hakin. Boaz, which is the pillar on her right side, signifies strength. That's the pillar of strength. And Hakin, or Jachin, which is the pillar on her left side, the white pillar, symbolizes the establishment. Okay, so the pillars are representative of dualities and polarities, positive and negative, good and evil, okay, um, happy and sad, okay, just whatever polarities you can think of, okay. That's what these signify, polarities that we, uh, live in our daily lives, or in our foundational perspectives of life, masculine, feminine, uh, angels versus devils, etc. Okay, the high priestess sits as she's like a mediating force between these polarities, these energies. Okay, that's who she is. She's the force that mediates these differences. Okay, um, so that's what she does. Um, um, so with these forces here, they're being symbolized by the black and the white. Okay, and then so she kind of like also she kind of ends up forming like a third pillar. Okay, so these pillars could symbolize the tree of life. Uh, okay. Um, yes, like the tree of life of the Kabbalah, for example, and I will show you an image of that. You'll see that in a little bit. It'll come out. So yes, she forms like that third pillar. And in the tree of life of the Kabbalah, you will see the high priestess right there in the center pillar. Um, um, and what this means, the fact that she's the third pillar and the mediator, and the center pillar of the Kabbalah, also the tree of life of the Kabbalah, it symbolizes the high priestess's ability to exist in both positive and negative environments. Okay, to her they are equal, uh, because there's wisdom to be found in both of them. That's how she sees it. There are lessons to be gained and learned in both places, the dark side and the light side, the negative side, the positive side. Okay. Um, okay. So now her blue robe symbolizes that she has knowledge. Obviously, um, that makes complete sense. She is wearing the crown of Isis, um, which denotes her patronage. That she is like the patron saint. Okay, of nature and magic. Okay, and now the solar cross that she has, um, and I'll try to bring that up a little closer to you if just to make sure that you can see it and you understand what the solar cross looks like. This cross, this solar cross symbolizes being connected to the earth and to the seasons of the earth. Okay, the crescent moon by her her feet. You can see the crescent moon right there. That symbolizes that she is in control over her own emotions. Usually, the moon evokes emotions. Okay, so the pomegranates, which are at the back on of her throne, those fruits there, those are pomegranates. Um, and yeah, and the pomegranate carries a lot of history, symbolic history to it. Um, in ancient Egypt, it was regarded as a symbol of prosperity and ambition. Okay. It was also used for treatment, for medication, for medical healings in ancient Egypt. In Greece, um, the Greeks were familiar with this fruit. Um, okay, before, of course, obviously before the Romans were. And in ancient Greek mythology, the pomegranate was known as the fruit of the dead. Okay. Uh, and here are some visuals of that I would love to share with you. So yeah, it's a very important symbol. It's an image that carries a lot of weight. It has carried a lot of meaning for a very long time. Okay, so the pomegranates here symbolize the use of plant medicine. So that's kind of referencing Egyptian symbology, and it also symbolizes the ambition that this high priestess has. Okay. So that's La Suma Sacerdotisa. Now, there are astrological, this is another component. We're looking at the symbology, but we're also brushing a little bit on its connection with astrology. Um, this tarot card, the High Priestess, and its connection with astrology um, is through the moon, which is what she has there on her feet, which governs obviously intuitions and mysteries. It governs instincts, cycles. It governs the subconscious and emotions. Okay, um, the moon is feminine by nature and often represents the female in your life. The women in your life. It can be your wife, your mother, your sister, your girlfriend, your daughter, okay? Um, yeah. Uh, so I guess you could say, the yin and yang, well, she's the yin, okay? It's the yin aspect. The moon rules your history and your emotional development. So this is like the center, this card. The moon okay, so let's see here. It takes the moon 28 days to orbit the zodiac, okay? So the changes occurring with the high priestess, often takes around 28 days to materialize and stabilize, okay? So, and the moon rules Cancer, okay? And Cancer is the astrological sign of the Chariot, another tarot card, which is a major arcana. Okay, and this is a major arcana, and it's the number 2. All right, and I will probably maybe next month I'll be talking a little bit more about what that means and how that works. For now, let's just talk about what does this card mean right here, right now. So you know, this sacerdotisa represents secrets and magic and mystery, intuition, wisdom, and the art of making the impossible become possible. Imagine the art of making the impossible become possible. So this card can represent a psychic connection between people. It can represent a psychic person or someone who is a complete mystery to you. So it can work both ways. But since it's at your center and this is you, okay, this represents you or your energy or your influences right now, okay? Okay, so it can also represent, let's see, um, you know, it can also represent your ability to use your inner voice, okay, to navigate through life. That inner voice that says, "Oh, I'd like to do this," or what you're thinking at your deepest, level or thought that's coming up all the time. So It's like listening to that inner voice to navigate through life. So this high priestess can also represent your subconscious. Okay, so this is the center, your subconscious, or what is connecting to your subconscious. Okay, so it's either your subconscious or what is connecting to your subconscious. So this will be interesting to look at these other cards that are around you. So in a reading, she often represents the woman in your life, your mother, your sister, your wife, your girlfriend, female, okay, a colleagues, bosses. All right. So, if it's in relation to love, this card denotes an emotional affair that may never make it in the physical plane. Okay. And if it's in relation to career, it could signify academic work. Okay. So, yes, Aquarius, that is what you have at your center of your reading for this month. Okay, now these are the cards that were dealt. And this is what we have. So, if we think in terms of the sacerdotisa, la summa sacerdotista being your center, and she's representing your subconscious, or she could be representing what is being connected to your subconscious, or what is connected to your subconscious. We have all these lovely cards around you. Okay, so it's always very cool to look at like what's exactly above and what is exactly below and what is exactly to the left and what is exactly to the right, because they're all connecting, including the ones on the corners. So we're going to start with the first one at the top left, right? The Seven of Pentacles. Now in the Seven of Pentacles we have this man who's probably been working. Pentacles symbolize um, being in the anything that's related to the earth, anything that is related to our survival on earth, the material world, um, the work that we do in the material world to get ahead, things that we need to, accumulate, things that we need to have. We all work to have money, so it's gold, okay? That's what the pentacles are, and they are an earth sign. They're related to the earth signs, okay? So you have seven of them, and this man is just standing there looking down at his pentacles, all right? And he's just like maybe looking at, well, look at everything I've accomplished. Wow, I'm tired. I've been working very hard. So let's look at the symbolism of this. Let's look at the symbolism of this card. So the Seven of Pentacles are connected to plants and earth, symbolizing cycles. Also, it represents the harvest in regards to finances. Okay, so maybe this is what you're harvesting. This is the result of your hard work. This is the first card of your reading, so this is what you're reading, the energy that's your reading is beginning with. It's entering. It's what's first. Now, in relations to time, the tarot doesn't really specifically. I mean, here because it's a general reading, okay. It's not really specifically talking about a specific time frame. It's very general, okay. It could be harvesting, harvesting, having fruitful returns on your hard work. Maybe that's been happening for a while, or it just started happening recently, or it's something that you're just about getting ready to receive. So, um, yeah. Okay. Um, Now, um, the man in the card, he's standing and resting his hands on a farm tool, right? Like, just like, okay, and this symbolizes, um, perseverance. Okay, that's what that means, perseverance. Um, because you're working hard and you're not going to give up because you know you will see those rewards. Okay. And in his face, and we're going to try to get a little bit closer to take a good look at that. I'll see if I can find a good image that'll pull us in. Yeah, his face is kind of like contemplating, wondering if all of his efforts are really worth the rewards. Okay, so that's what's happening with that card. Okay, so now this specifically has a meaning of work that you do that is going to pay off in the future. Okay, you are in this card, you are planting the seeds so that you will be able to harvest a more secure and abundant future for yourself. So, could be that that's where you're at right now. Um, you're looking at your investments for long term and you're making plans for yourself. The card is also saying that there is a reward waiting to be uh, harvested if you stick to it, if you keep at it, not give up, basically. It's also telling you to be patient with yourself. Take a step back and look at the value of your efforts. Okay, what is the inspiration? Okay, that's what they mean by the value of your efforts. Why are you working so hard? What inspired you? You might feel you are working hard for little gain, um, but this card looks at the long-term benefits. Okay, sometimes the Seven of Pentacles Tarot card can give you like a warning, a heads up, okay, that you might not have enough money to finish what you started if you're like starting a project um, that requires some investment. Okay. Um, it gives you a warning not to make any major decisions as you don't have all the facts. Um, so it's kind of like saying don't sign any contracts. Okay, so like if there's anything serious that you have to decide, any major decisions that you have to make, um, you know, make sure you know what the facts are. And it also is suggesting that you work smarter instead of harder. Be more smart, because sometimes the hard work is just not always enough, and and you might run out of resources if you just continue working really hard and not really stepping back and really thinking about what it is you're doing. Okay, and that is what's going on with that card. Okay. Um, Now the card that follows is Judgment, El Juicio, and this is also a major arcana. Okay, and it is, yeah, and it is card 20 of the major arcana. All right, and this is I love this card. This is a beautiful card. Let's talk about this card. Let's see. So the angel is the Archangel Gabriel. or Gabriel. I say in Spanish, I say Gabriel. So that's why I say Gabriel, because I'm still thinking like that Spanish influence, but in English it's Gabriel, right? Gabriel. And he is the angel of messages, and that's why he's blowing his horn. It's like trying to get your attention. Okay, his trumpet symbolizes the afterlife's triumph over death. He's spreading the good news. There's triumph over death, denoting endings. Okay, followed by positive new beginnings. So it's almost like saying, don't freak out because something's ending. There will be something new coming along. When something leaves, something always comes in and replaces it, right? Now, the white banner with the orange cross or red cross is a standard Christian symbol, and this symbol comes from way back in the era of Constantine. Okay, this was his victory banner. This is the banner that he used because he was the first Christian emperor, and that was his banner. So that's his victory banner. Okay. But when Gabriel holds this banner, it symbolizes victory over death. For Constantine, it was okay. So I'm the first Christian emperor, and I will conquer the world with my Christian God. While here, it's victory over death. That's what this banner symbolizes here that Gabriel is holding in. Now, a man and a woman and a child are being called from the tomb of ego consciousness, okay? It's not from the dead. It's about the ego. The three people are reflected on the other side of the river. Okay, do you see how they're on the other side of the river? Those are the same three people. And this is another symbol of the soul's victory over death. Like they've crossed over to the other side, but they've died or they've crossed their ego. Something has changed in them and they've crossed over. And there's like a new rebirth. Okay? That's what that means. Now, these three people on the other side are also a symbol of the three pillars of the tree of life. Just like of the high priestess right below this card. So the tree of life is pretty important, and maybe we should talk about the significance of that in another reading, or I'll do it as an introduction. It's pretty important. Now, the ocean that's between the two sides, okay, represents the end of the river. Yeah, I think that's because most rivers eventually flow down towards their oceans, right? And this symbolizes individuals coming together for a greater good, and this makes so much sense for you, Aquarius, because I know that that's what you're all about, and we are entering the age of Aquarius, right? So it's a really cool card. The mountains represent the structure that surrounds us all. Okay, gotta have structure, need that structure. Now, in terms of astrology, this card is ruled by Pluto, the planet Pluto. And the planet Pluto is the planet of transformation, and its element is fire. Yeah. Pluto also represents the subconscious forces and rules everything hidden in the depth of our minds, kind of like the moon of the high priestess, right? It represents endings and new beginnings. So there we go again. New beginnings and endings. The position of Pluto shows where people search for truth and for deeper meaning. So it depends on when they're talking about the position of Pluto in your astrological chart or in the astrological chart. Remember, this is astrological components of the card. There might be an issue with power struggles and control. Okay, so that might be the deeper meanings. It is important to feel we are in control of our own lives, of course, and that we are living our highest calling in life. So when this card shows up, we search for change and transformation, and we are encouraged to accept our deeper need or our deepest need. So kind of accept it. I need, oh yes, okay, okay, I really need that. All right, I get it, that kind of thing. If we choose to ignore our dark side, destructiveness might soon follow. So we all have our dark sides. We all have our negative sides. So maybe that's what it's making, blowing its trumpet for you to think about, Aquarius, my dear Aquarius. Now, the Judgment Tarot card meanings, these may indicate taking responsibility for your actions and your life, being a good judge of character, seeing the truth and knowing what you want. All right. The Judgment card often shows up when you need to step up and be a leader, to speak the truth, and to be a little bit more assertive, perhaps. This card also shows up around endings and new beginnings, and because you have the Seven of Pentacles before it, all right, where you're planting the seeds of a project, a monetary project, an investment. Okay, it could be relationship to that. I mean, at this point, the only one who really knows the details is you who are listening to this, because it is a general reading and it's very, it's not specific. It's not very specific. But I can talk about the symbolisms of it, right? We can talk about that, and that might, enhance the meanings for you, which is what I would like to know, right? That it is enhancing the meanings for you. If you're enjoying this, if this makes sense to you, if it's helpful to look at the symbological meanings of the cards in this way, right? So now another thing that's going on with this card, okay, so it kind of reminds me of the Death card, because in the Death card it also means new beginnings. Uh, but it differs from the Death card in the sense that with the Death card you might feel that you have little choices, right? Um, Either you break free or you break free or you don't, and there's the image of the Death card right there in the tarot. And at the same time that the transformation is happening against your will. It's kind of like the Tower card too. um yeah, it's not really something you want to do in the Death card, while in the Judgment tarot card, uh the changes here, uh, these changes, what it's saying is that the changes that you have manifested more consciously, so the changes, you're more conscious of them, okay, and you accept them by stepping up and becoming more of the person you you were really meant to be. That's basically what it's saying. uh Now, this card will often show up in a reading when the seeker, that would be you, has made an important decision. So if this is in terms of, like, if you want to have an individual reading done, okay, then that's so this card would be telling the seeker to trust their own decisions and to have faith in their abilities. Okay, that's just okay. And in terms of love, um it describes a relationship that nearly ended only to be revived at the last minute. Okay, It can also mean that if you are a couple, that you need to appreciate each other more. Now, if you are single, this card could speak to finding love through fulfilling your calling in life, for example. Uh, let's say that in a position of leadership or, something along those lines. Okay. In terms of career, this card can signify careers in recruitment and politics and management. So that makes total sense. So that's a lovely card to have, and it makes complete sense with everything that's going on around you so far. The Priestess, the Seven of Pentacles, and now this card. But following your Justice card, your Judgment card, I mean. Yeah, following the let's see here. You have yeah, you have the Nine of Swords following Judgment, El Juicio. And Nine of Swords really, there's this woman on the bed and she's very worried. It could be, you know, um, swords indicate thoughts, air. It's the energy of thoughts. It's the energy of it's an air symbol. The swords, are related to air. Pentacles are earth. The swords are air. So pentacle is what's of the earth, working hard, the things that you do in the physical world to get by. The swords are ideas, or they can sometimes be emotional, but usually they're just ideas, and and for her there's worry. She's sitting on the bed with her head in her hands, and this symbolizes anxieties and fears, obviously. She looks very anxious and she's crying. The nine swords, they symbolize worries and troubles, um, and what she is holding on to. Now, this is important because we all go through worries and troubles, but there comes a point where we realize that we have to let things go. And sometimes we have a hard time doing that, and that's what this card means. So, the symmetrical pattern of the swords, uh, because of the way they're put together, in horizontal lines like that, in that pattern. Okay, that means that the problems that that you have, okay, um, are due to the way are due to your thinking habits. Okay, the habits that you have in terms of your thoughts. All right, so the bed is decorated by a carving right there, and that's really kind of hard to see. I've tried to find images that show that really well, but I haven't been able to. But it's it's a carving of a duel between two people. Like in the olden days that they would have duels with guns or with swords, and that's what that is. That's that image there on the bed. Okay. And these two people that are doing this duel, this symbolizes conflict and competition. So, uh, maybe, yeah, something in the way your thought patterns work in terms of something that might have to do with competition or conflict. The quilt is decorated by roses, and it also has astrological symbols, which are really also very hard to see. I've also tried to find images of that, and I haven't been able to yet. But that's what that's supposed to be. Roses and astrological symbols. And this symbolizes being stung by those around you. That's what that means. Okay, and it kind of makes sense because the swords are sharp too. So, Something's going on with people around you, perhaps. Now, the black wall symbolizes the lack of optimism, okay? So, um, yeah, it's definitely not a bright, cheery card, but it's a useful card. The tarot, what it does is just kind of remind us, don't forget about this. Don't forget, remember this, remember that, because we have so much going on in our lives, I feel that we often forget, the strategies of thinking and the strategies of how to feel about situations, and stepping back and seeing the bigger picture. And like the tarot kind of helps us, reminds us to do that, I think that's what it's doing. Yeah. So that's your Eight of Swords. Now this card, you know uh, it could be that it also could mean that you're not getting enough sleep, or that you're feeling overwhelmed. Okay. um, Overwhelmed especially by negative emotions such as guilt and regrets. Okay. um, so because of that, you're having sleepless nights, or maybe loud noises really irritate you, or maybe you're having a lot of arguments, or even a lot of nightmares. So if this shows up with the moon, and you do have a moon, because the high priestess has a moon. See, she's got a moon right down there. It's a small moon. It's not the moon card, but there is a moon. Okay, so when it comes with a moon, um, it could be, but since it could be that, okay, so this is getting a little bit out of hand, this worrying, this train of thought that you're on. That's what that could mean, okay? Remember that this is a general reading. Okay. Um, Now, when this sword is surrounded by pentacles, and you are not surrounded by pentacles, but you do have the Seven of Pentacles at the beginning of your reading. So you're not surrounded by them, but there's a few. But if you were surrounded by them, then the cause to worry is usually of a financial matter. Um, maybe you have a little bit of financial concern, but it might not be like a big issue, because it's not really showing up all around that card. Okay, perhaps. Okay. Now, if you do have two sword cards in this reading. Okay. Um. Okay. So maybe, and because this nine means thought patterns, and then at the bottom you have the Eight of Swords. And that's not really a bad card either. I mean, people freak out with the swords, but it depends. In this reading, they're not really bad in my opinion, but they're just, again, like reminders. You're in your head too much, maybe. Your thought patterns. It has to do with your thought patterns and being in your head. You're thinking. Because it's worried thinking. And the card at the bottom is like, refusing to see what really is, in terms of like the thoughts. Okay, because they're swords. So because you do have two of these cards, two sword cards, and then there's it's not a heavy sword reading, even though you do have the three of swords also. you know and that could be that you're maybe that's what you're worrying about, something that happened, or you're worried that something will happen, that it's going to break your heart. You're afraid to lose, to get hurt, or maybe you have gotten hurt before. Well, we've all gotten hurt before. But for you, and this is again a general reading, all right? Yeah. So patterns of worrying. Now, you really don't have a lot of court cards. You just have one, which is the Knight of Cups. That's the only court card you have. You don't have any kings, any queens, any more knights. That's the only one. Okay. And this, since it's a really good court card, it's the Knight of Cups, right? And he's, coming in to offer you something. Okay. But it's kind of like a cause of, but it's causing you worry. You're worried about it, about something. Maybe you're worried about getting hurt. Maybe you're worried about, partnership. I don't know. It could be anything, really. This is a general reading. Now, in terms of love, relationships, the Nine of Swords indicates a relationship that has taken away the seeker's peace of mind. That's not good. If the seeker is single, then this card means the seeker is very lonely and perhaps has regrets about past relationships. Okay. If it's in terms of career, this card signifies a job that eats away at the seeker. You're thinking about it all the time, That's all you do. That's all you worry about. That's all you think about. So it's kind of eating away at you. This card can also denote working in mental health or working night shifts. Okay, so that's your Nine of Swords. Okay, following the Nine of Swords, you have the Three of Cups, and that's a party card. The Three of Cups is a party card. Yes, it denotes that you're partying with friends, having a good time, everything's great. So let's kind of let's kind of look at this cup. I mean this is really I like this card. And I always find some really cool images of other tarot cards that depict this card and the Rider-Waite's just one visual interpretation. So in terms of symbolism, the three maidens there, the three women who are holding up their cups in the air with a joyful manner. They look so happy. This symbolizes celebration and joy, obviously, right? The blue sky is free from clouds, symbolizing carefree times, good times. Maybe there's some good times happening around you, and you feel like you can't really participate. You don't feel like you're able to. I don't know. The laurel wreath on the women's heads symbolize victory, status, recognition, and glory. The flowers, plants, and fruits on the ground, and you can see them there, symbolize abundance and the beauty of life. So if this energy is around you, embrace it for sure. And this is a card in terms of astrological, meanings is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury also rules Cancer. And Cancer's the Chariot. Yeah. Now, Three of Cups is the tarot card for celebrating, going out with friends, having a good time, and being part of a community. This card often shows up when someone is getting engaged or married. This card is also about happiness and abundance. There is enough for everyone. Sometimes this card shows up in, let's see, in a reading when you are starting to really love and appreciate the beauty of life. Okay. Or maybe it's reminding you to do that. So appreciate the beauty of life and the people in your life. That's what it's all about. And that's all she wrote. That's it. Now, in terms of love, this card speaks of happy times for the couple, right? Where they have plenty of reasons to celebrate. Reminds me of some people I know. Now, if the seeker is single, then this card may mean that you will meet someone at a social occasion, meet somebody special. If it's in regards to career, this card signifies uh, colleagues or work-related events um, will be just great, and people that you work with are also your friends, that kind of thing. Now, it also speaks to jobs that are fun in areas of hospitality, for example, hotel, tourism, travel, um, event planning. Okay. Um, all right. So that is your beautiful Three of Cups card. It's really a happy card. Reminding you to step out, get social. And then you have your center card, and then that's followed by El Caballo de Copas, the Knight of Cups. And then the Knight of Cups is a lovely card. He is lovely. Boy, what a handsome knight. Oh, I would love a knight like that to come and give me a golden cup of of happiness. No, I'm just kidding. I'm already pretty happy, but it is a lovely cup. A lovely card, I mean, and a lovely cup too. Now, the white horse symbolizes the bearer of heroes. Okay, I love that. The knight symbolizes a messenger. So you have two messengers. All right, you don't just have one messenger, you have two. All right, and the message the message from the chariot was very different. This message here is a message of it's a romantic message. Okay, so my goodness, but you're afraid maybe because of that Three of Swords, right? Yeah, Aquarius. So, this knight, he has a beautiful cloak that's decorated with images of fish, and you should be able to see that. And this symbolizes the spirit, okay? The wings on the helmet and feet are a symbol of freedom and expression. That's lovely. How lovely is that, huh? Freedom of expression. The river symbolizes the flow of emotions. I love that. The flow of emotions. Just go with the flow. Let it flow. All right. So, now this card denotes a person on a quest to declare his love. Okay. This is your knight in shining armor. Or you could be the knight in shining armor, right? It could work both ways. So he is a singer, a poet, a writer. He paints and he creates wherever he goes. He is artistic and incredibly lovable. He has so much charm and he loves romance. Okay, he just loves romance. In situations, this card might speak of a creative phase in your life. Okay, remember, this is a general reading. Uh, so a creative phase in your life where music and art will play a huge part. That's what the card says. Knight of Cups often shows up in your cards, in your spread when you are traveling. And the travel and this traveling gives you like joy and meaning. Your imagination will be at its peak, especially combined with the moon card. So the moon always intensifies stuff. So you don't have the moon card, but you do have a little moon. So, you know, the moon card's really cool. I like the moon card. Now, if this is a love reading in regards to love, I guess I could say, it often shows up when someone takes you on a romantic getaway. Ooh. If it's single, if it's a single, if you're a single Aquarius person, it could represent love interest. In a relationship, this card can mean the couple is moving forward in a very positive way. And it often includes physical travel as well. Um, if it's in relation to career, this card could signify a poet, a musician, a partner, a painter, excuse me, any type of creative jobs, theater, singing opera, etc. The Knight of Cups can also mean healthcare jobs, but only if the seeker really loves to care for others. It can also signify a business trip. So it depends on the questions being asked in the private reading. These are all just general, and like I said before, it's really just fun to get to familiarize with the cards and learn about them and their symbolisms. But so we have that beautiful, beautiful sword card that follows, and this woman, she's like bound, right? Okay, the eight is you had the nine of swords, well now you only have eight. So that's good. That means you're moving forward. Perhaps that's what it could mean. And they crisscross your high priestess, right? They cross your high priestess. You have the nine of swords, the high priestess, the eight. So you're making those transformations. And then here at the top left, you have seven pentacles, high priestess, and then the 10 of cups. And then if you look up and down, you have judgment, the high priestess, the three of swords. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about that one too. But let's look at this eight of swords. Well, first of all the swords are pointing down. That's good because that symbolizes that her fears, but that's a woman, her fears, um, it's her fears that are causing her to stay passive. It's not that there's like the swords symbolize her fears. And they're so intense that they're making her passive. She can't move. But three of them are on her right side. See those three on her right side, and that symbolizes her fear of becoming broken-hearted. Oh, there it is. Look, and you have the three of swords right next to it. And that's your fear. And the five of swords are on her left, symbolizing the fear of becoming defeated. Okay. The rope tying her up and her blindfold symbolize her confusion and her inactive state. She's not moving, she's stagnant. And the sky behind her is gray, and this symbolizes lack of hope, possibly even depression. Okay, she is standing all alone, far away from the town in the distance. You can see this little town in the distance, and there are other cards that I will be bringing up that you'll be able to see. And some of them show these beautiful towns in the distance. This is the Rider-Waite deck. They're lovely cards also. I love these cards. Okay. So there's this town in the distance, and she's really far away from it, and this symbolizes her isolation or her feelings of isolation. Her feet even are on even ground. Um, and this means that she's fearful of moving forward. So this is the card of fear. Fear, fear. And it denotes being stuck and unable to move on. Okay? Maybe because you're feeling confusion and not really you don't really know what's going on. Okay? Often people draw this card when uh, their own gut feeling is being overruled by other people, you know? There's too many other people telling you stuff that you just can't find your gut feeling about something. Now, it's not showing up with the devil, so it's not that you're not seeing clearly. If this card was showing up with the devil, it might indicate that you're not seeing the situation very clearly. It could also mean if the devil were there with that card, that somebody is forcing you to believe in something, and you might be doubting yourself, but you don't have the devil card with you there, so you don't have to worry about that. That's not what's going on with you. You don't have the seven of cards. If this card were combined with the with the seven of swords, and I have had people get both of these cards, it could be saying that you are being kept in the dark about a certain matter. Okay, but you don't have to worry about that. But you are being followed by the three of swords. Okay. So you're afraid to move on. You're feeling confused. You know, that's what it could be implying. Okay. Now this card often shows up when the seeker needs to maybe when if there's any important decision that needs to be made, that maybe you should wait a little bit. Okay, don't make any decisions now. Okay, it's telling you to just hold off a little bit because you don't really have all the information right now, and the best outcome will will come to you in another way, okay, in a different way. You just have to give it a little bit of time, and you'll know. You might see, yeah. Now, in terms of love, this could mean that the seeker is just about to meet the love of their life. Okay? Um, if you're in a relationship, this card indicates that you want to take the relationship to the next level. But the time is not yet right to move forward. So hold on a bit. That's what it's telling you. Okay? It's not the time yet. If it's in relation to career, this card indicates working with people who have problems with communication, such as speech pathologists, special aid therapists, and support workers. That's what it's saying. Okay. So, Aquarius, my friends, very good. So now let's look at your that's a really you have a beautiful reading. You're getting so much beautiful energy that's coming your way. I mean, yeah, life happens, things happen in life, but you have so much positive stuff going on, and you're going through changes, and changes are always good. They're painful sometimes, but they're good. It's good. Sometimes we need to go through those things to learn lessons. All right, so now this card, this Three of Swords, the swords are pointing down also, like in the Eight of Swords. They're pointing down. And this really means endings here. It means endings. So, yeah, maybe a relationship is ending, a love relationship. I mean, it could be, maybe your business is closing down. Usually it's a painful ending, obviously. Because the swords are across each other and they're piercing the heart. And this symbolizes emotional pain. Yeah. The sky is filled with rainy clouds, symbolizing grief. So you are feeling a lot of grief, and it could be related to your Nine of Swords up at the top there. Now, this card denotes heartbreak, right? Sorrow, pain, or even separation. And even though sometimes the separation is temporary, there are times when these separations are final and they can be very painful. Now, it's based on the other cards that are here, especially the two other swords cards. I would say that this event of the Three of Swords has, you know, affected you quite strongly because you're also getting the Judgment and the High Priestess reminding you, you know. And yeah, and the Eight of Swords is also telling you, just move forward. And if you do move forward, you will find the Ten of Cups, basically, because that's how your reading ends. But there's no doubt that this has affected you strongly. It can also indicate something that happened, a pain that happened a while back, and that somehow life goes on and you covered it up, and that you need to release it. That it's time to release that pain. That you've kind of like put it down in your subconscious, and you do have a lot of subconscious. You have the moon. There's a lot of changing with the Judgment. You have that kind of energies going on there. But it could mean that also. Um, you're not surrounded by a lot of court cards with this card. You only have the Knight of Cups. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you did have a lot of court cards, this card would mean that your heart is hurting due to the people in your life. But you don't have that. So again, this is a general reading. You don't have Five of Swords. If you did have Five of Swords and they were together, combined, each other, connected in some way in the reading, this would mean that someone is deliberately trying to hurt you, but you don't have that, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that's your Three of Swords. It's a lovely card. Now this card, when it shows up, it's reminding you uh of your passions and your dreams. Get them motivated. Um, get motivated again about life, about your passions, about your dreams. It's reminding you to do that. Snap out of it and, you know, let it go and fill that space up with other dreams, other motivations. You need to get back on track with life. That's what it's saying. In regards to love, it means a painful time, obviously, right? You're dealing with rejection and separation. Yeah. Okay. But I feel very, very, very light and heartened, I guess I should say, because your reading ends with Ten of Cups. How abundant is that? Ten, it's nine and then 10. The Ten of Cups. It's a beautiful card, and it's right below your Knight of Cups. And this Is this card, you can see the cups are in the shape of a rainbow, and this symbolizes peace and good fortune, you know. The house is the family and home, and symbolizes, the house in the background there. And you will see other cards that have beautiful houses there. The house, and this symbolizes security, you know. Very important. The green fields and trees symbolize fertility. The river symbolizes the flow of love. That's beautiful. Go with the flow, like the Knight of Cups. The couple have their hands in the air, and this symbolizes gratitude, being thankful for the good things that we do have, for the blessings we have. The children symbolize playfulness and creativity, right? Don't take it so seriously. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, the Ten of Cups is it's total spiritual bliss experienced in your relationships, in your home and your family life. It's like an awesome card. This card is about being in alignment with your true nature and everything in your life being in harmony with your higher self and purpose. How cool is that? Ten of Cups is the tarot card for perfection and high achievements, Aquarius. Sometimes you will have to allow yourself to be human and to have imperfections. Okay. I didn't say it, it's the tarot card. This is a general reading. I think it can apply to a lot of us, though. It doesn't matter for Aquarius or not. Because, those imperfections, that we all have, they just make us who we are, and accepting your imperfections make you more real and lovable, you know, not so plastic and fake. Now, in terms of love, this card denotes a relationship that will be the best you have ever experienced, much due to the spiritual connection and level of perfection in your compatibility. If you're single, this card is denoting that you are waiting for the perfect partner and will not settle for anything less, right? And if it's in regards to career, this card can denote careers that are in the public eye, or creative jobs, and or managing property. Okay. It can also mean that perhaps you're finding your perfect job. It can also mean that. So, wow, Aquarius, that is just an awesome reading. It was such a pleasure um, doing this reading for you and with you. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really long reading, but there's a lot of information for you there that you can meditate on for the month of March. I wish you a wonderful month full of happiness and friendship and love, good food, and lots of love and peace for you. And thank you for visiting my site, and I hope to see you again next month. Bye bye. Take care.